With all the doom and gloom going on lately, I thought it'd be nice to take a little break and watch a video from one of my favorite rainforest animals, the coding sloth. Should you study computer science? By the way, I love this guy. Make sure to check out his video, like and subscribe to him. Very funny guy. Let's get into it.
I'm going to be honest with you all. The tech market right now is cooked. There's 4 paths you can go down to get that sweet and succulent tech job, and each has their own difficulty. We have recruit, your dad is the CEO, regular, college/computer science student, hardened,
Okay, that's me. So I played on regular difficulty.
a boot camp, and then we have veteran, people who are self-taught. But honestly,
I have a lot of respect for people that are self-taught, but at the same time, I feel like everybody is self-taught. I mean, just going to college, people expect that everything is just going to work out for them, but everything in life is what you make it, unless, of course, your dad is the CEO.
in today's job market, everyone's playing on veteran. Like, bro, imagine wasting 4 years of your life just to end up at McDonald's putting fries in the bag. A lot of people out here are getting laid off, and new grads, good luck to them. People from top universities struggling. People who worked at FANG
What the hell? Okay. I don't know where you found that picture of me. The way this looks a little sus, doesn't it? The way we're both posing and like smiling together, and the fact that I'm wearing pink, like Barbie pink.
companies like Google struggling, people with experience struggling. I myself am a victim to this market. Why do you think I make these stupid videos? And it's not just me
Oh, that's kind of sad, but funny at the same time.
that thinks this. Look at all these YouTube videos from experienced engineers. They all have similar opinions. And do not look at Reddit, because you'll feel worse if you look at Reddit. And not only that, the interview process is also getting more difficult. I've seen posts that all you had to do was solve an easy or medium leak code problem. But nowadays it's
One thing I want to say is that everybody assumes that like before the 2022, the tech slump, and before COVID, that everything was just like perfect. There was a big struggle to get your foot in the door. Like as a new grad, just getting your first internship or your first job, getting like your resume was actually a pain in the ass, at least for me. Like I was try-harding too. Getting your foot in the door is the hardest part. It gets exponentially easier after that. So just keep that in mind.
sounds like they want you to write an algorithm to solve world hunger in like 10 minutes.
For your interview question, create Google.
What? What?
Yeah, you got 10 minutes.
Wait, what do you...
What the hell? He was not supposed to leak this question, yo. That's the question I used to ask. Damn.
Write an algorithm to solve world hunger in like 10 minutes.
For your interview question, create Google.
What? What?
Yeah, you got 10 minutes.
Wait, what do you...
Oh yeah, you have to do it in assembly.
Wait.
All right, time's up.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that was a good attempt. You'll get an email in a few days letting you know if you pass or not.
Interview process is tough. And then we got AI. It's going crazy, and it's probably gonna replace us in 10 years. Okay, I'm being dramatic. It's not that crazy. The market itself is not that good, but it's also not impossible. As long as you work on projects, prepare for interviews, network with people, it's possible. It's
I think anecdotes, for a lot of people, they drive a lot of emotion. Like they can make you feel really, really good or make you feel really, really bad. Like if you see a Reddit post that's encouraging or discouraging, what I try to do is just focus on like the overall trend. And I think over the next 5 to 10 years, hopefully with interest rates going down, hiring will pick back up. That said, let me give you an anecdote because I know how powerful those are for people. Looks like a post made 8 hours ago on LeakCode has like 600 upvotes. Hiring is absolutely picking back up. I don't know how much experience this person has, but they have 5 interviews lined up. So maybe they're not a new grad, but still a positive sign. But again, just an anecdote, could be completely useless.
really just a numbers game. It just takes some effort and a lot of luck, mainly luck, but it's possible. So yeah, I recommend computer science. Bro, just put my fries in the bag. Okay, but seriously, should you study computer science? If you're watching this, you're probably thinking of studying computer science to become some type of engineer. Sloth, I'm already studying computer science. What the fuck? So let's hope I can help you out and make sure you don't regret your choice. I'll also be using the 2024 Stack Overflow survey to help me out because they interviewed over 65,000 developers, and because I'm stupid, I'm probably the least qualified person you should listen to. So let's start off with, do you even need the degree? Technically, no, you don't. A lot of jobs don't require a degree, but a degree will help you out massively. I mean, let's think about it. If you were a recruiter, who would you trust? Each of these people have no experience. We have Bob, who did a 3-month boot camp. We have Charlie, he self-studied for
This is kind of the simplest approach, getting like a degree. But I wonder for people who are like genuinely interested in computer science and software engineering, and when I say genuinely interested, I mean like really, really passionate about it. Like those kids you see on Twitter, like those 18-year-olds who've been coding since like high school, they're better than like the average junior Fang developer or even like the mid-level Fang developer. Those types of people, like there's no way they have difficulty finding jobs because like they're on Twitter doing super impressive stuff, even like networking in a way, showing off how skilled they are. And I wonder, like, I feel like there's always a job market for people like that, for somebody who's genuinely skilled and good at what they do and has connections with people. You can't just be, sitting in your closet all day coding because nobody's going to know about it, no matter how good you are. So if I was, young again and unemployed, that might be the approach that I take. And that's kind of what I did in a way when I was like unemployed for a year after graduation. For people who don't know, I was just making like leak code videos. Probably I could have been networking a bit more. That would have given me a bit more opportunities, just showing off my skills, doing something genuinely impressive.
For 4 years, but he doesn't have a degree? Or would you trust Chad? He has a 4-year degree from a college. If you're
honestly, nowadays, to me, when I see a degree, it's not worth that much. I've seen plenty of people who have a degree and they're so trash. The college I went to, people cheated so much. People cheated. They don't know how to code. They graduated and they barely knew how to code. GPAs and degrees are one metric that definitely don't tell the whole story.
The average recruiter, the safe bet 99% of the time is the person with the degree. I wouldn't have picked Chad. Honestly, I would have gone for Bob. You're based, and I respect that. But based off the Stack Overflow survey, 66% of developers have a bachelor's or a master's degree.
Honestly, lower than I would think.
Now, does this mean you can't get a job without a degree? No. There's a bunch of videos of people who did it, so just Google it if you want motivation. But for most people, rev up those fryers. If you don't get a degree, it'll be so much more difficult than if you had the degree, and it's already hard as is. So
I think that's true, because even if you are exceptionally talented or you have like innate talent and a decent work ethic, but maybe you're lacking the passion. You're just not the type of person who feels like building a bunch of things. Because quite frankly, not to brag or anything, but I would say I'm above average when it comes to just like learning things. And I think that gives me an advantage over the average developer, which, let's be honest, the average developer is not very good. But I just don't like building stuff. That's the reason I wasn't one of those kids on Twitter impressing a bunch of people. I'd rather just be solving a bunch of leak code problems.
let's say you want to get the degree. What exactly is computer science? Well, obviously, it's the science of computers. So Google's definition of computer science is the study of computation, information, and automation. And in my experience, because I have a degree, I know it doesn't look like it, but I do have the degree, computer science was not what I was expecting. I was out here learning things like discrete math, automata theory, operating systems. I mean, that one was obvious. I'm just stupid. If you like these topics, fair enough. But this is not.
I love these topics. I hate building stuff. I loved operating systems and automata of discrete math. I talk about it in every video I make for LeetCode.
What I wanted to do. I just wanted to program games and websites. I wanted to make my own Minecraft mod. Computer science is not software engineering. Computer science is all about the theoretical stuff. You'll spend a lot of time on algorithms, data structures, and really just computational theory. So stuff like, how does a computer work? How does a compiler work? Why are these data structures fast? What is a bipartite graph? I forgot what most of this is. To me, this is pretty boring, but sometimes it can be interesting. Sometimes. I mean, you could use Dijkstra's algorithm to become the #1 DoorDash driver once you graduate. That's pretty cool. Software engineering, on the other hand, is more focused on practical applications. You use the theories to build stuff. So you're basically taking an engineering approach to software. So, you know, software and engineering, software engineering. Computer science, you don't really get to build cool stuff. So you're probably thinking, what's the point of this degree then? And fair question, I ask that every day about life. Computer science is pretty helpful because your education is well-rounded. You'll get to build a really good foundation and understand the fundamentals better than people who self-studied. Usually,
I think that's very true. I forgot a lot of stuff that I learned in school, but the high level concepts, like I know what they are. Like I know like those operating system level things. The last couple of videos I've like talked about them. You can kind of tell like I have a very fuzzy understanding of them because I haven't really touched them in a long time, but I know that they exist. The average self-studier has less understanding of those things. I'm not saying that spending 4 years learning those is worth it if all you want to do is just build stuff. I think there's a lot of flaws in like the education system, to be honest, but I think that's unrelated.
To know the ins and outs of a computer. You're gonna be all up in that computer's guts. And this gives you the freedom to explore different areas of programming. You can now do stuff like explore web development, mobile development, cybersecurity. You're probably gonna learn some math like calculus and linear algebra.
Very true. I think like if you're self-studying, you can become a front-end developer a lot easier than you can become a back-end developer, because when you get into back-end development, that operating systems class is going to be useful. Like I had a random ass problem when I was working at Google. It had to do with like a Java thread pool issue, and fixing it requires actual understanding of what's going on. To be honest, I'm not going to act like I fixed it myself. I just asked the staff engineer for help. Still, you know what I mean? And also I want to say that when you work at a company like Google, you're expected to learn very quickly. You're expected to learn things on your own. So if there's anything that you ever learn in your life, whether it's from school, YouTube, or personal experiences, learn how to learn. You can't just go into Google and say, I'm a front-end developer. Whoa. Don't tell me to write some back-end code. Don't tell me to, Python code or Java. Whoa, I don't know that language. Don't tell me to do that. C++? That's not my area of expertise. No, like this is your project. It's C++. You don't know that language. Who cares? Learn it. We're paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars. What, you thought it was going to be free? That's kind of the attitude. And I know most people probably recognize that, but some people don't. So I think it's worth mentioning.
Which lets you do data science and machine learning. There's a lot of choices you can do, but you're most likely still going to be self-taught. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're still going to be using YouTube University. In my experience, the professors mainly gave you lecture notes to introduce you to the concepts.
That's what makes me feel like college is such a scam. Not 100% a scam, because like the degree is worth something, but man, like even at my university, which, wasn't super prestigious or anything, but it's like you're sitting in class, some of those professors are so bad, and it's like, why am I paying thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars per year when I could just watch better videos on YouTube? It doesn't make sense. It's one of the few things that makes me feel a little bit better about the fact that I sell courses. At least I'm not one of those people, selling those $10,000 courses or boot camps, which are just a complete waste.
And then they'll give you assignments to work on it. But that's basically it. Like from then on, it's up to you to figure things out, because unfortunately, the best way to get better at programming is programming. What a surprise. I mean, even once you graduate, that's not gonna change. You're always gonna be studying on your own. Even in the Stack Overflow survey, it shows where it says online resources are the top choice for developers to learn to code, where apparently 82% of developers use online resources.
Wait a minute. What are you using that's not an online resource? I mean, obviously colleagues, but it's hard to get access to colleagues. Even if you have smart ones, they don't want to spend all their time tutoring you. Coding boot camp, friend or family member, interesting. On the job training. I had one internship and 2 full-time jobs. None of them I got on the job training. I'm dead serious. Who's getting on the job training? Like, did I just have some crappy teams? Nobody taught me anything. Nobody taught me what a unit test was, how to write it, how are like good ways to write it. Like, seriously. Okay, so school, e-courses, which kind of an online resources, books and physical media. Interesting. I like the idea of books. Depending on what you're learning, it might be outdated. Another reason why I personally prefer back-end and lower level programming, but anyways.
To learn. So that's fun. Another concern that a lot of people have is, what about AI? Is AI gonna replace software engineers?
Devin AI. Whoa, guys. Now I'm nervous. Devin AI. It's definitely going to put me out of business pretty soon.
Once again, from the Stack Overflow survey, 70% of professional developers believe AI is not.
Wow. I mean, I don't know how long ago that survey was, but that is very surprising, because when you look online, there is so much FUD. By the way, I used to work at Google, just in case you didn't know, I used to work at Google. Just thought I'd throw that out there. But when I was at Google, the vast majority of people I would talk to, they don't follow every single trend and things that are going on. They're too busy actually doing their jobs. I remember asking somebody a few months, maybe 6 months after Copilot came out, like, hey, do you hear about this? And they were like, no. And I was like, okay, I kind of wanted to have a conversation about it with you because I like you and you're smart, but you haven't heard of it, so I can't really ask you anything. So that's kind of what it's like. Most people at Google, most people working in big tech, they do not watch YouTube videos. They do not follow tech social media for the most part.
Professional developers believe AI is not a threat to their job, but 81% of developers agree that it increases productivity. Currently, 82% of developers already use AI to write code, and this is a pretty big deal. This means that generative
I wish I knew what the tools they were using at Google were. I remember it's been about like 2 years since I left. And at that time, they were just starting to introduce AI assistant tools.
AI is an essential and a must-have skill for software engineers. So while it's not going to replace us yet, it's still a pretty helpful tool to know. So if you want a resource to help you learn how to use AI for programming, you can check out Coursera's new course. It's called Generative AI for Software.
Yeah. I always wanted one of these. If you want Coursera, go to Coding Slots channel, click the link in the description, and while you're there, like, comment, and subscribe to my boy.
Oh, should you study computer science? No, don't study it. Please, save yourself, please. So we've talked about how computer science makes you a better applicant, makes you well-rounded, but you're still gonna have to self-study some skills. Actually, let me expand on this more. Not only do you have to self-study for school, you have to self-study for jobs. Because remember how I said computer science is more theoretical? They're preparing you for research positions, not for software engineering positions. Now, what does this mean? You're gonna look at the job requirements and you're gonna realize, wow, I don't know a single technology. I don't have a single skill here. Now, unfortunately, this happens to a lot of students, but it's not that bad because remember, if you did computer science, you have a well-rounded education. So you should have a strong foundation, which will make it easier to learn these technologies. But I can understand why some people are frustrated because now you have to work on personal projects while doing your coursework and working on interview preparation.
And this is why I kind of feel like college is a scam because quite frankly, like even if you want that well-rounded education, you can get that. Do you really need 4 years to get that? I felt like after 3 years, I had the well-rounded education and I had my interests that I wanted to pursue, but I still had to take a bunch of courses, which courses are just not an efficient way to learn. When you have like this course with 100 or 200 people in a lecture hall, everybody goes at a different pace. Looking back, I feel like I could learn all the stuff I did in college, honestly, in like 1 year if I was just self-studying it. It's kind of ridiculous.
This sucks because you're paying thousands of dollars just so you can teach yourself these skills using online resources that were free in the first place. So this goes back to the question, why should you even study computer science if it's not going to teach me the skills? And I know what you're thinking.
This is a load of barnacles.
I heard that!
And I see it, I understand. I was in the same boat, but what I learned, unfortunately, after I graduated, the best part about doing a computer science degree is surprisingly not the education, it's the opportunities you have as a student that you don't get anywhere else. Now, unfortunately, you have to touch grass and socialize, which 90% of computer science students don't want to do. But there's 3 big opportunities you get as a student: internships, research positions, and hackathons. Now, internships are really good, where you spend like 3 months interning at a specific company. And what's nice about them is 1, the interview process is way easier for an intern position compared to a full-time position sometimes, but it's still super competitive. 2, if you do get the internship and you perform well enough, you can get a return offer.
True. Some companies, I think Google makes you re-interview even if you're an intern. Like that's just nuts. I don't understand why they do that.
Which means you can get a full-time position or you can intern there again without having to go through the interview process, which is amazing. And 3, the money. Now, for research positions, these aren't exactly like internships or industry jobs, but they're pretty helpful if you need some experience on your resume or if you want to pursue a higher level of education, because it's way easier to get into these positions compared to an internship. At least the only difficult part is maybe getting your name published on a paper, but if the goal is for a job, then a research position is a good way to get some experience. All you really have to do is ask a professor if you can help with the research. This could be a professor at your college, or even if you don't go to that college.
Man, looking back, I missed out on so many opportunities. I wish I had pursued the things that were interesting to me. If there's one piece of advice I would give to people is do things that are interesting to you because it's so much easier. It's like nobody has to tell you to play video games if you genuinely enjoy it. It just kind of happens. There are so many things I could have done that would have been easy for me had I actually pursued them.
Surprisingly, some professors will still let you work with them, but it'll be way easier if you contact the professor that's in your university.
By the way, back to Reddit for a second. On the subject of applying for a research position, I saw this post on Reddit and thought it was funny. Somebody sent an email to a professor wanting to be a research assistant, and this is the response that they got. For volunteer, I require 20 hours a week in the lab. For volunteer, not a paid position, for volunteer. with hours reported in and out. Weekly detailed progress report with high expectations on performance. If you do not perform, I will fire you and share a performance report with other professors. If you're going to fire somebody, first of all, you could phrase it a little bit more nicely. But second of all, sharing a performance report with other professors, I mean, assuming that they're trying their best, that's kind of a dick move, because my time is more important than you, not than your time, than you. Wow. 99% of volunteers waste time, and I've had 40 volunteer applicants, 39 wasted time. If you accept the condition, then I can interview on Teams. Otherwise, I've already spent enough time on you. Good luck. Wow. I don't think most professors are like this, and I'm not trying to give you a reason not to approach professors, especially if you have some nice ones, but damn. Anyways, make sure to subscribe to my boy. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.